We are so excited to be joined by the legend himself, Mr. Bill Gaither. Bill, thank you so much for being on with us.
I'm impressed. Legend?
Legend. You are a legend.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If you wait a second, I'll put you on a connecting phone, and you make sure you tell Gloria about it.
I will do that for sure.
Well, you know what?
And you know what she'll say? Would the legend please take out the garbage?
Well, you know, legends have their crosses to bear as well. So,
Sure. Bill Gaither on the show today. They've got a great show coming up tomorrow night at the First Baptist Church in Woodstock. And, Bill, I'm reading some of the information here. ASCAP Songwriters of the Century, Bill and Gloria Gaither. 700, more than 700 popular gospel songs. Can you believe it's been over 700?
You know, we just take one at a time. But when you live this long, I think it probably could be 700.
I remember back in the day playing He Touched Me Because He Lives. There's something about that name. And, you know, those songs are, those are classics. I mean, they keep coming back. People are still singing those songs because there's just such a touch on them. When you guys put these together, did you imagine that they would have the impact that they've had over the years?
Not really. What you do when you write, you just write something that you feel. But it's really great when new artists, for instance, right there in Atlanta, David Crowder sings Because He Lives every concert he does. And I said, David, you keep me hot with all the young crowds.
they're going to be calling you to come perform at Passion, right?
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to go to the Dove Awards because, I've been there for so many years. But these young guys are so kind to me. They all come up. The young man that did I can only imagine he'll come up and say, man, I want to get my picture taken with you, so they really make me feel good.
Yeah, definitely. Now, this is the Homecoming Christmas concert tomorrow night. What is it you and Gloria love about Christmas? What do you look forward to most about Christmas every year?
If there's one holiday that shuts down everything else, shuts down the entire year, including New York City, it's Christmas.
Very true.
You got to give Jesus credit, man. He knew how to, and it's a wonderful time to slow down and reflect. Last night we were home. Just we're within 2 or 3 weeks of the actual date, but we were home with a fire in the fireplace. Watching the Pacers play basketball, and it's a good time to read. It's a good time to reflect. It's a good time to say, "Hey, this is pretty good, isn't it?" And I think that's the best thing I like about it. There's also a favorite line in a carol that I love: "The hopes and the fears of all the years are met in these night." Christmas can be a pretty tough time for people who have suffered losses.
Yeah. Because
the first thing you think about is the person who's not there,
Right.
But the beauty of that line, the hopes and fears of all the years are met and be tonight. It's pretty powerful.
Love that.
Pretty powerful.
The Atlanta Gaither Homecoming Christmas Spectacular coming up tomorrow night at the First Baptist Church in Woodstock. It is going to be pretty amazing. 7 p.m. is when it all starts, and looks like you've got a number of friends going to join you, as you always do, for Homecoming. Mark Lowry, the Martins, the Nealons, and more. What's it like, Bill, to just get – I've seen the Homecoming videos, and there's just something about it. It's almost like if you're watching it, it's almost like you're there. There's a presence. You get caught up in worship, and it's just pretty amazing. What's it like being on stage with those legends?
Well, first of all, they are extremely talented people, and when I had to quickly come to the conclusion when I was younger, I'm not the greatest soloist in the world. I'm not the best keyboard player in the world, but I will say this: I'm a pretty good cook. It seems like the Lord has blessed me in being able to put all the various talents together. And if you're in the kitchen, any cook in the kitchen has the same opportunity, has the same raw stuff they play with. but not all cooks are created equal.
Right,
you know?
right.
I mean, Gloria's a great cook. And we had my favorite dish last night, salmon patties. I love her salmon patties. I don't really like about anybody else's salmon patties. But, you know, it's my job is to say, okay, you got all this wonderful talent. How can you put it together and make it work? And we got people like Angie Prim, African-American gal that just tears the place up. You know, she has a certain place. And Linda Randa will do God on the Mountain. The vocal band will do Chain Breaker. You know, if you got pain, he's a pain taker, you know. And you got all those ingredients and then end up with the hopes and fears of all the years and sleep in heavenly peace. I think there's a hole in the gut of America that can only be filled by Jesus. And I think people are seeking peace in this day and time when there's so much to distract them from the things that will bring peace. And obviously the person who could really bring peace to their lives. So it's a wonderful opportunity to put all of this stuff together in one place. And secondly, come out with your head up. People who come to these concerts say, I needed to laugh. I just needed to have I needed to relax. Thanks for the hope. Thanks for the joy. And thanks for the picker-upper.
Is there a particular part of the show that is just absolutely your favorite that you would say, you know, if you have to get up to go to the bathroom, don't go to the bathroom during this part of the show?
Don't go to the bathroom during the last two numbers, the Silent Night and Holy Night, because that's when everybody turns their lights on. And when I look out there and I see all those lights, I say, yes, yes, maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope, you know.
Bill Gaither, Bill Gaither on the phone. The show is tomorrow night at the First Baptist Church of Woodstock. It's the Gaither Homecoming Christmas Spectacular, and you can check that out. It's at 7 p.m. Bill, you've really kind of answered my question, but I'm going to throw it out there. Maybe just give us some more details. What do you really want people to walk away with this Christmas after a Gaither homecoming?
Well, basically, that life gets tough, and everybody's life gets tough. And if the statistics are right, you know, the suicide rate seems to keep going up and up and up. I think one of the problems are those crazy computers, you know.
Amen to that.
You know, I think, you know, for a person to create their own world, and they can do that in front of a computer, that's not the real world. The real world is really people, you know, with flesh and blood and bones and minds and hearts and souls. That's where the real world is. And I think to get away from that for a while and be with real folks, I don't care how tough your life is, I think you can go away from this program saying, yes, this is why I was born. Mattering is very important. One of my greatest old gospel hymns is, little is much when God is in it. Labor not for wealth or fame. There's a crown, and you can win it if you go in Jesus' name. And everybody's important. God doesn't make junk. We were all created in His image. And I think when people go away from these programs, they say, yes, that's the core of who I am.
Awesome. Bill Gaither. And one last question from me. Bill, and this is completely off the subject of the concert, but what's your favorite Christmas present you ever got, ever in your life?
My favorite Christmas present I ever got, time.
If I could get some of that wrapped up, that'd be awesome.
The last I checked, they're not making any more time.
No, they're not, unfortunately.
Bill Gaither, it is going to be a great event coming up tomorrow night at the First Baptist Church of Woodstock at 7 p.m. You can get your tickets at gaither.com, premierproductions.com. You can also call the First Baptist Church of Woodstock. Bill, thank you so much. Blessings to you.
And I would have caused some confusion before I hang up.
Okay.
Is it Dan or Rick and Dan?
Depends on the day and who you ask.
Yeah, I suggest you two work that out today, okay? And I'll see you tomorrow night.
Okay. Thanks so much, Bill.